guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm excited to share with you these rustic farmhouse mason jars all decorated for Christmas. This DIY is part of a collab with some other YouTubers. I will have their links down in the description box below. Please go check out their creations as well. What you're going to need for this DIY is you're going to need some mason jars. You can use some that you have on hand, but please be sure to wipe them down with an alcohol wipe to clean them before you apply the paint. The next thing you're going to need is some twine. I had this hanging around the house, but you can find this in the dollar store. The next thing you're going to need is some chalk paint. The chalk paint makes it more easier to distress. The next thing you're going to need is just a simple little paintbrush. I found that in Michael's for less than $1. And the next thing you're going to need is just a pick of some pine cones and holly berries if you want to create it to look just like mine. But of course, feel free to use whatever calls to you. I did find that in the Dollar Tree as well. The next thing you're going to need is just some burlap decorated ribbon. I found these both in the dollar store. The next thing you're going to need is just some sandpaper. We are going to use 80 grit. I found these in the dollar store as well. The first thing you're going to do is just simply paint your jar. It doesn't have to be perfect because we are going to distress it, but what I did was I did 2 coats, being sure to make sure it dries before you apply the second coat. The next thing we're going to do is distress it. What I did was I cut off a piece of sandpaper of the 80 grit strength, and I just cut out a little rectangle, folded it in half, and then what I did was I went along the raised edges first. With the paint that I used, it was a little bit harder to pull off the paint, so I did have to go a little bit rougher than I thought I would have to, but I'm sure if you used a stronger grit, it would probably come off a lot quicker. I did want to make sure that the words Mason and the words ball on the front showed up, so I did go ahead and make sure I scratched off the chalk paint that was on those so that they would show up in the final project. Then I just went ahead and went on the top of the bottom. You can do whatever you like to just distress it, to just show a little bit of aging to it. And this is what it should look like when you are finished distressing it. Of course, I wanted to add a little bit more distressing. Add as much or as little as you want. It is your project. So as you can see, this is what it looked like before, and now that's what it looks like. The next thing I did was I did put some twine around the top edge for the first creation we're going to create. What I didn't show was I did use a dot of hot glue on the bottom of the rim, and then I attached the twine to it, and then I went ahead and went around with the twine, and then I attached it again with another dot of hot glue. Here I'm just making a little bow out of that twine to embellish on the top. The next thing I'm going to do is I am just taking my little Christmas pick that I got at the dollar store, and I'm just cutting off a pine cone, some foliage, and a berry leaf to embellish on the top. So as you can see here, I am putting it all together. I am attaching it with some glue. I went really heavy on the glue, like I just made sure that the whole thing was coated with glue, and then I just attached that little ribbon to kind of hide the glue dot on the top. So this is what my first mason jar looks like after it is all finished. The second one we're going to make is really easy. I'm just going to go ahead and use that burlap ribbon that I did pick up in Dollar Tree, and I am just going to glue it to the side and wrap it around and then attach it again with some glue. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put another glue dot, and I am just going to go ahead and wrap around that twine around the top edge of the ribbon and also on the bottom edge of the ribbon, just to make it a little bit fancier, just to add a little bit more decor to it, because I didn't just like the ribbon wrapped around it. It just felt like it wasn't finished to me, and I felt this twine really finished it. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to create a little bow again, and I'm going to attach that to the front. As you can see, I did not distress this one yet because I wasn't sure where the ribbon was going to lay and everything. So I wanted to leave the distressing to last. That way I could make sure I was placing the distressing where it needed to be. My biggest fear was I was going to distress it, and then what I distressed was going to be covered by the ribbon anyways. So I was going to do all that work for nothing. So I mean, you can go ahead and distress it first if you would like. This is just why I chose to distress it after it was completely finished. So here it is, my finished project. I think these are really cute, and these are so simple to make, and they look like something that you would find on Pinterest. I absolutely love them, and I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial. Again, this is part of a collab, so do go ahead and check out the other YouTubers I have linked down below and their creations as well. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!